Hello viewers, welcome to UN Autonomous College. Today we are going to discuss about a topic that is known as implicit objects in JSP. In a previous topic we are already discussed that we are learning different types of scriptlet elements, then we are learning what are the different types of tags are related to JSP. Today we are going to discuss about the topic that is known as implicit objects in JSP. Before going to discuss about this topic, we know what is the real meaning of implicit. The real meaning of implicit is related to our different types of implicit means internal type of invocation technique. That means we know that in our typecasting case we have two type of typecasting, that is known as external typecasting means explicit typecasting, then implicit typecasting means internal typecasting. That means implicit means which is invoked automatically. There is no need to mention any external command or external word to convert a specific number to a other type. But in that case of JSP, we generally use that part known as, that is related to our implicit object in JSP concept. We directly take the help of some implicit object which is defined by our system. By using that object, we are easily doing our specific type of program according to the requirement. Let us focus on that slide. Now we are going to discuss about what are the different outlines are related to the topic. Today we can going to discuss about the concept of introduction to implicit objects. Then we are learning what are the different types of implicit objects are available in our topic in our JSP concept also, and what are the examples are related to our implicit object. We are going to discuss about these 2 points. Now we are going to learning what is the real meaning of implicit object, then what is the real part and real platform which are related to implicit object. We are going to discuss about it. So that here these objects are the Java objects that the JSP container makes available to the developers in each page, and the developer can call them directly without being explicitly declared. That means in your implicit object concept there is no need to define any explicitly means externally any type of command or any type of object which can convert a specific type to any other type. But in case of a JSP, we are using the implicit object. There is no need to define any external statements which can help to convert some specific type to any other type. That means we are only take the help of a specific object, one particular object. By using that particular object, we can convert a specific format to any other type of format which is already discussed in our program. Now we can focus on the slide. Here we are discussing how to define an implicit object in our program without being taking the help of explicitly declared. Here JSP implicit objects are also called as a predefined variables. That means predefined means which is already defined by system. There is no need to define by user, there is no need to write any commands or statements which are related to our JSP implicit object. That means that JSP implicit object which is already defined in our system, in our JSP system, and that JSP system which can creates an object, that object is known as predefined object, or we can say implicit object. Now we can focus on the slide. Now we are going to discuss how to use or in our program and what are the different types of implicit objects which are related to our JSP concept. Now we are learning what are the different types of objects. Actually we have minimum 13 to 15, 16 implicit objects in our JSP concept, but today we are learning some few objects which are related to our topic, and other objects also we are learning in the previous or any next concept. Today we are going to learning what is the real use of that request object in our JSP concept. Here the request object is an instance of a javax.soblet.http. That means it is known as a package, or we can say soblet.http package, and in that package we have a class, that class named as http soblet request class. Here S should be capital and S also capital, R should be capital. So it is known as a class. HTTP soblet request is a class. We are creating an object of this class, means HTTP soblet request class. Then we are going to create an specific time. That means each time a client requests a page, the JSP engine creates a new object to represent that request. That means whenever user invoking any type of command, means providing any type of request from the client to system, means our JSP engine, in that moment a new object is being created and which is going to representing that request. By using that request, a user can solve their relevant problems or relevant query which is related to a specific type of concept. Then we are learning here the request object provides methods to get the HTTP header information, including the form data, cookies, then HTTP methods, etc. That means here some request object provides some technique or some method relevant technique. By using that method relevant technique, we are getting an HTTP header information where we can add some data or cookies or any HTTP methods which are related to our system or related to our JSP relevant program. That's why whenever user want to create any type of program, and that program must be flow from client side to server side through a specific object that is known as request object, and that request object is the one type of implicit object. By using that implicit object, we can easily invoke some specific type of queries from the client machine to our server machine. The general way of definition, there is no any alternative definition to define it. Then we are learning what are the different relevant examples are related to this topic. Now we can focus on the slide. Here we are going to discuss about what are the some relevant examples are related to this topic. That means we are using that request object, we are going to create some program. That means that is known as a source program and that is known as a server side program, means one destination program. And we are making a link between your this index.html file to userinfo.jsp file. By using this linking, we can easily forward some message or some command from this file to that file. So how is it possible? Now we are learning about it in details. First of all, user must create index.html page. In that page, we are creating some HTML tag. In that tag, we define head tag. In that head, we define some title, and the title known as the enter username and password. Then we can close that head tag. Then we are writing here body. Inside that body, we are mentioning that is known as a form tag. In that form tag, we have an attribute that named as action. In that action, we have a file name that is known as related to our JSP file. That means user info JSP, and this file is already defined in this section. Here we are defining this user info.jsp section, then which is attached or invoked at the time of pressing a button. Then inside that form tag, we are defining two extra statement written as enter username. Then we are taking the help of input tag. We are going to create an input box, and that input box is always created through that input tag. In that input tag, we have an attribute that is named as type. In the type, we are mentioning is type of text box, means is a text box. We are going to create text. Then we are defining an attribute name. In that name attribute, we are mentioning an identifier that is known as uname, means username. Uname is a unique identifier of that user name label. And next we are going to create an password section. Here we are writing here enter password. Then we are typing here input type text. Instead of that text, means we are writing either you are writing through number, any character, any special character which is visible to each and everyone. But whenever you are writing here, instead of the text you are writing password, then it is by default it is displayed in form of star, or you want to change its style, it may be displayed as @ it may be displayed as hash, any different types we can be displayed on a monitor screen. Then we are mentioning here another attribute known as a name. In that name we are setting a value, is a unique identifier that is named as pass. That means it is a variable. Instead of this name, we can write anything else, there is no problem, and that input tag should be closed through this forward slash. Then we are making the breaking tag to make a new line. Then we are creating a submit button by using a command submit, and that submit command is written in the type section. Type is known as an attribute of that input tag. Then we are writing a value, that means we are writing value means is the name of that command button. This submit button name that is written as submit details. Whatever write inside this section, in your value section, it must be displayed in the top of that button. If you are writing a submit details, it can display as submit details, you are writing here click here, it can display as click here. Then that part must be linked with this user info.jsp, and the whole sections are written as user info.jsp section. First of all, we can define there's a directive like page directive. In that page directive, we are importing a package by taking the help of an attribute that is known as an import space, or you can say write import equal to java.util package, then star, means we can include all classes which are relevant to util package. Then we are writing our HTML tag, then body, then we are taking the help of scriptlet tag. In that scriptlet tag, we are defining some statement like string username, that means we are collecting some information which are related to that index.html form. That means request.get parameter means whenever user click on that submit button, then automatically the information of that enter username details and password details which is forwarded to this user info section, and that information should be fetched, should be retrieved by using this command. That means we are taking the help of request object command, then dot operator, then we are writing a method name that written as get parameter, P should be capital, get parameter, within that parenthesis we are writing uname means this section, then whatever value present in this text box, it must be transferred to this username through by using this uname unique identifier location, and it can be returned through request object. And this is a request object which is implicitly defined by your system, means predefined object. Then writing a string password equal to request dot get parameter, then we are mentioning the next text field unique identifier that is written as pass. Then we are going to printing the value of this username and password out.print method. Here out is also another type of implicit object which are going in the next slide. Then we are defining your name. In that name we are printing the name of that which is a value which is present in your index.html form. Then we are going to printing some password in our user info JSP section. Is the one JSP page which is related to our programming concept. Now we are going to discuss what is the use of that out object. We know that whenever user is invoking that out object means here the out implicit object is an instance of a javax.servlet.jsp section, means JSP package. In that package we have a class which is known as JSP writer, and that JSP writer class helps to create an object and which is used to send content in a response, but its response must be handled through one predefined class object that is known as JSP writer object, and that object is always instantiated differently, which is depending on whether the page is buffered or not. If it is not buffering, it can be easily turned up by using the buffered false. That means the attribute of the page directive. Whenever user writing here buffer means it is false, then your writing should be in waiting state. Whenever user writing here JSP writer object which contains most of the same methods as the java.io print writer class, and by using that class, however, JSP writer has some additional method designed to deal into with your buffering, which is unlike the print writer object. JSP writer throws IO exceptions in our JSP concept. We know that whenever user is always creating a specific type of message, and that message is always displayed or executed through an out object, and that out object is always creating a technique. By this technique we are going to printing some user defined message in our web browser, and that's why that out object is essentially needed in our program. Without out object we can also doing our some programs, that program must be effected or enabled through another type of scripting type of elements that is known as expression tag. The role of expression tag is also similar with our out object. That's why here we are only discussing about the concept of out object. That out object is known as an implicit object which is used in our program. Let us focus on that slide how to use it in our program. Here an out object is must be implemented in our program like index.jsp which is creating a page. In that page we are going to create an HTML tag. In that tag we have another tag that is known as head tag, and that head tag is always containing one statement like title. In the title we are writing some message out implicit object example, then that is end with the title, then head section is closed, then we are starting the body section. In that body section we are mentioning some scripting type element, means scriptlet element or scriptlet tag, where we are writing some JSP relevant statements like out.print. Here out is known as implicit object, out.print is known as a method. In that method we are printing our statement, some message here written as print statement. Then we are using that out.println, then printing the println. Here ln is not still working, because that ln there is no need to write in your JSP concept, which is not created a dynamic line at the time of execution, but in our HTML concept we are always try to use that tag that is named as BR tag, means break tag. By using that break tag we are easily creating it without any problem. That's why we are creating this statement in our program. Next also writing that out object, and that out object is known as an implicit object. By using that object we can easily invoke a predefined method which is known as print method. In that print method we are printing a statement, another print statement, which is already used in our programming part. Then we can close that scripting element or scriptlet tag, then we can close that body tag, then HTML tag. In this way we are going to using our out object in our JSP concept. Okay, now we are going to discuss about another type of object known as a response object. Then we are learning what is the real use of that response object and how to implement in our program. Here the response object is an instance of a Java X.Servlet HTTP. That means here we are using that Servlet HTTP is one type of package. In that package we have a class that is known as HTTP Servlet response class. In that class we are defining an object with the help of that class, so that this object must be defined in our system with the help of that server. That means that server always creates the request object, and that object also creates an object to represent the response to the client. That means whenever server creates a request object, and that object is always responded by your client, and that response is always forwarded from the server section to our client section. Similarly, we know that in our that means a three-tier architecture concept, whenever user forward any type of message from sender side to destination side, that message must be transformed from one system to another system, which is take the help of a medium, and that medium is always recognized through a specific statement which is related to our topic, and that response is most essentially needed in our program. Without response we are unable to invoke a method in our programming part. Now we can focus on the slide. In that slide we are going to define here response object is also defines the interface that deals with creating new HTML or we can say HTTP headers, and through this object the JSP programmer can add new cookies or date stamps, HTTP status codes, etc. By using that HTTP header section, which is helps us to taking our response from the server section to our client section. Now we are going to define some examples which are related to our response object. Before going to discuss about this response object, we are confining one technique. In a real life example we are learning, we are using some any type of Facebook or Gmail account. In that moment user must write their username and password. Whenever the username and password is written in that frame and user can click OK button in that web page, then that info is already forwarded to your server. If that information is matching with the predefined server database, then you are getting an interface or platform which is related to some Gmail account or any platform account. Through that platform we easily retrieve some information in our system. Now we can focus on the slide. Here in that example we are taking the help of that is known as a response object. First of all you can create a index.html page, then we are going to create a checkdetails.jsp page. In that page we are writing some code. First of all, we can define what is the real use of that HTML page. In that HTML page we are defined a tag that is named as HTML tag. By then we are writing head, then we are writing a title. In that title we can mention some title name, is written as login page. Then we can close that title, then we can close that head section. Then we are writing your body. In that body we are going to printing some statement like or some tag, form tag. In that form tag we have an attribute like action. In that action attribute we are mentioning a specific JSP page which is related to this section checkdetails.jsp, and this check.details.jsp is linked with this index.html page through an attribute that is written as action attribute. In that action attribute we are writing here checkdetails.jsp. In that form tag we have two statement that is known as the user ID, and that user ID is created to a text field, is type known as a text. Then we are mentioning here name is known as an attribute. In that attribute we are mentioning some unique address that is written as ID. Through that name attribute we are easily mention some details in our program. Then we can close that BR tag. Then we are writing your password. In that password we are creating another text field. In that text field is always named as pass, that you can write anything in that pass. Okay, whenever user writing any type of specific type here password, and this password must be displayed through star or hash symbol. Then we are creating some button that is known as a submit button, which value is known as sign in, and we can close that form tag. Then body tag is closed, and HTML tag is closed. In this way we are creating our index.html page, but this page is linked with this another page that is known as checkdetails.jsp page. Now we are going to discuss about what is the real importance of coding in our JSP part. Here you also can define some HTML tag. In that tag we are going to define head section. In that head section we have a title that is written as check credentials. Then we can start the body section. In that body section we are taking the help of scriptlet element or scriptlet tag. In that tag we are defining some Java relevant code like string class UID. There is a variable, string type variable, which is defined with request object. Here request object is known as predefined object. Request.get parameter. Get parameter is known as a method. P should be capital. In that method we have a parameter which is known as a unique parameter, that is ID, and that ID is already defined in this section, inner user ID section, that is known as ID. Then we are defining string password, request.get parameter. In that parameter we have a parameter like pass, and that name should be equivalent with the second text field. And then we are defining session.set attribute. In that session.set attribute, which can help to create a specific session, and we are going to creating a session ID. A session ID should be equivalent with this user ID, means session ID is equivalent to the user ID which is created in our session of our JSP page. Then we are checking here if that user ID is equivalent with, that is known as, suppose we are written default name that is known as Chaitanya. Next we have password equals to, that is known as beginner book, and that means the given parameter of this text field and second text field should be equivalent with this name. The user ID should be equivalent with Chaitanya, and second password should be equivalent with your beginner's book. If it is equal, both are correct, condition satisfied, then automatically we are taking the help of our response object. That response object is automatically send redirect, is a one type of predefined method which is always used through that object, that is known as response object. The response object helps to invoke that success.jsp page which is available or created by the user, which is present in our next slide. And what is the use of the success.jsp? Then we are writing, if it is not matched, then we are getting a failed.jsp. Automatically the response object is invoking a specific type of method written as send redirect method. In that method we have a page that is known as failed.jsp page, which is automatically forwarded or redirect to that failed page. If it is not matched with our condition, if condition is satisfied, then we are getting success.jsp page. In the next section slide, we are going to discuss what is the real use of success page, means our failed page, which is defined in a previous slide. In that success JSP page, if your user ID and password section is matched, means is corrected, condition satisfied, then you are opening this page automatically. There is no need to invoke any extra command to it. Only you can write here response dot send redirect. If you write, automatically response object can redirect this page through a web server. Okay. In that successor JSP page, we have some statement, coding statement like HTML section, head section, then body section. In that body section, we have some other type of statement like data. It is an object of that string type and object, and in that object we are creating a session dot get attribute, which is forwarded from our next page, means this section which is defined in it, and it is the one general way through which we are going to define in our previous section. Write it like that, the success.jsp page. In this section also we are going to printing some data which is retrieved from our session object, which is stored in our data section, and it is already typecasted. That means this session UID is typecasted to string type. Then it is going to display in our browser. In a failed.jsp page, we are going to printing our HTML, then head section, written is sign in failed. If you are not authenticate user, then you are getting this page. Then your body section is started. In that body section, we have two statements, string data2, and which is also defined in like session.get attribute, which is known as session UID. Then your string is known as a typecasting type parameter. Then you are going to display some message like you are inputting wrong password or user ID, please try again. This type of message is always retrieved through this way. That means so that in our response object it is most essential in our JSP page, because by using that response object we can dynamically redirect any type of JSP page, or we can say any relevant HTML page which is available in our system. Now we can focus on the next slide. Here we are going to discuss about what is the use of that session object. In that session object, we are defining how to create a session object. Here the session object is an instance of Java x.servlet HTTP package. In that package we have a class that is known as HTTP session class. In that class, which can behave exactly the same way that session objects behave under Java servlets. That means in that Java servlets we have some different type of session objects which are executed in our page. Then the session object is used to track client session between client request. That means by using that session object we can easily handle some relevant client informations or client relevant data in our source session to our destination section. That means this session is essentially needed in our program. If you are cross that session, then you automatically page is redirect to any other pages, which is also possible in our session object, and that object is helps us to design some online relevant exam. Means you are going to giving an exam which is lies time period 1 hour. Whenever 1 hour is covered, automatically a page will be closed, and that is only possible through this object that is known as session object. Now we can focus on the slide. Now we are going to discuss how to use in our program. Here we will define an example. Now normally we are creating one HTML page, index.html. In that page we are defining some HTML codes like HTML tag, head tag, then title, which is written like welcome page, enter your name. Then in that section we are starting the body. In that body section we have a form tag. In that form tag we are mention a link that is known as session.jsp. We are making this page to this page link. Then in that form section we are defining an two text field, like one named as a input name, another written here is a submit button, and by using that submit button, whatever text is present in that text field, his name is known as the input name, and automatically it is transferred to your session.jsp page. In that page we are define HTML tag. In that tag we define a heading section. In that heading section we have a title written as passing the input value to a session variable. Then we can close that head tag. Then we can static that body. In that body we are using that scriptlet tag. With the help of the scriptlet tag we can define some Java codes in it, just such as string uname. In that uname we can retrieve data through an object that is known as request object dot get parameter input name, which is present in that text field, and we are going to printing it through out.print method, which are going to welcome plus uname, means whatever name is present in that uname variable. And we can set an name of that session, means session dot set attribute means ses name, and that ses name is equivalent with your uname. If your uname is equivalent with a ses name, that means it is automatically set as a session in it. Then we have another page which is hyperlinked with out.jsp page, and that hyperlink page must be opened through, that is known as a web server. And that out.jsp page looks like that. It is known as output page, and whenever user click on that out.jsp page, we are getting this environment head section. In that head section we have a title. In that title we are printing some statement like output page fetching the value from session. Then we can close that head section, we can start the body. In that body we are going to printing that is known as scriptlet tag. In that scriptlet tag we are printing here string name. In that name we are storing the predefined setted session object, which is in our ses name, and that is converted to string type. Then we are going to printing our session name, that means hello user, you have entered the name, this name, which is retrieved from our programming part. Okay, now we are going to discuss what are the real relevant platforms are related to our JSP concept, and by using this kind of objects we can easily retrieve in our programming part. And also we have number of JSP relevant means interrelated objects in our programming part, which are going to discuss in the next part of your this session. Okay, fine, thank you.